Okay, in this question, we're going to apply our um, evaluating how accurate um, medical tests are with this pregnancy test. So the first question is how sensitive is the test? How sensitive is the test to picking up um, the fact that the woman is pregnant? So what we do is we think about um, okay, how many these are the test results of the study, right? So we look at the number of pregnant women altogether. So the first question is, and out of those, how many actually tested positive? So what you need to do is, first of all, how many pregnant women were in the study? So press pause on the video if you need time to figure that out. How many pregnant women were in the study? Okay, the answer is you take 297, but you add 74, right? Because there's pregnant women who tested positive, but there's also pregnant women who tested negative. So the total number of pregnant women is 371, right? 371. So that's important. So sensitive is out of basically out of 371, how many tested positive? Sorry. So how many tested positive out of the 371? 297 out of the 371 tested positive. And what percentage is that? Well, that's 0.800, and we need to round your answers to the nearest whole number percent. So that's going to be 80%, right? Okay, moving on. We want to figure out the specificity of this test. A woman who is not pregnant tests negative. So the first thing you need to figure out here is how many not pregnant women were in the study. So press pause on the video if you need time to figure that out. How many um, women in the study were not pregnant? So the answer is these two here plus this 150. And again, the test is not perfect, right? So this is really silly that two women who were not pregnant tested positive, but tests aren't perfect, right? So um, unless you did a really expensive lab test, these cheap tests you get at a gas station or a grocery store or a pharmacy, they're not very. So oftentimes some people will do them twice to make sure, right? But in any case, there were 152 altogether. So out of those, um, how many were actually not pregnant, right? So it'd be 150 out of the 152. Okay, and so we have 0.986. So that is the percentage of not pregnant women who actually tested negative, the 150, which is the correct thing. You should have, like, ideally this would be zero, and actually this would be zero, right? But ideally, so the sensitivity of the test, therefore, or sorry, the specificity of the test, therefore, is 0.986. And how do we round that to the nearest whole number percent? So that would round up, that's 98.6%, right? Actually 98.7%, and so on, or it's actually 98.684 and so on percent, and so it rounds up to 99. See that? So it's 98.6, so it's going to round up to 99%, the nearest whole number percent. Okay. Okay, so press pause on the video and try this one yourself, and then I'll do it. Okay, I hope you've pressed pause on the video and tried this one, the positive predictive value. What that means is, given that I have a positive test, the bit that I tested positive, um, how accurate, how good is that, right? Given that I've tested positive. So the first thing you gotta do is figure out how many people tested positive altogether. So press pause and figure out how many people tested positive altogether. I'll do it now. It's 297 plus 2, right? So 299. So we need to put, something over 299. That's just 299 are the amount of people that tested positive, right? Now, positive predictive value. So given that I have a positive test result, what's the chances that I'm pregnant? So you look at the correct ones, the 297. So you go 297 over 299, and we get this 0.9933 and so on, right? Which as a percentage is 99.3311 and so on percent, right? Goes on and on and on. But we need to round to the nearest whole number percent. So what would that be when it's rounded to the nearest whole number percent? So it's 0.3, so we round down. If it's 4 or less, you round down. If it's 5 or greater, you round up, right? So 99%. Now, negative predictive value. Given that you've taken a test and then it says negative, what's the probability that's actually correct, that's accurate, right? Given that you took a test this time, so okay, so what we need to do is what? Press pause on the video and just see if you can do this whole one on your own. Okay, I'll do it now. So what we need to do is first of all figure out how many people tested negative. So take your time. How many people tested negative? I'll do it now. It's 74 plus 150. 224 people. See them there? Now, not all in a perfect world, again, if they tested negative, this 74 wouldn't exist. That should be 0, but these tests are cheap, right? So it's not perfect. Hopefully, at least this number is more than that. So this is a bad part of the test, right? This test is not great in this regard here, right? So, so you want to watch out for those negative tests because just because it says negative, um, you've got there were a whole bunch of people that tested negative that were actually pregnant, right? So not very accurate on the negative um, side. Like if you get a negative result with this, because only 100, it was only correct 150 out of 224 tests, right? So that's only this amount. 0.66 and so on, 0.6696, right? So we'll turn that to turn that to a percent. Oh, sorry. So we got 66 point, 964 and so on percent. I need a decimal. Yeah. So that's what the percent looks like. 66.964 and so on percent. What round that to the nearest whole number? What have we got? The nearest whole number percent. So it's 66.9. Do we round up or down? We round up, right, to 67%, right? So that's pretty bad, right? So, so basically that's pretty much 2/3. So like a third of the people who had a negative test result were actually pregnant. So you got to watch out. A lot of people will do two tests or do the same one twice or something, right? Just to be sure. Okay, so 67% is the negative predictive value here.